3-0, anybody? That'd be a nice start to the season. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein here on Dallas Mavericks today. Mavs play the Grizzlies tonight in Memphis, looking for a 3-0 start. Remember, no Ja Morant, so big opportunity. Now, the question is, Coop, will Jaden Hardy get an opportunity? Because he has not yet. He has been a DNP coach's decision in the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, complete DNP for Jaden Hardy so far this year, and it's frankly due to the Mavericks logjam at guard here. We'll take a look first at what Jaden Hardy did last season, a very promising rookie season. Played in just 48 games, had a lot of time down in the G League, but I really liked what I saw from Hardy last year, and I expected him to be in this rotation, but thus far has not gotten a second of playing time yet.
Yeah, and, I'm a little bit surprised by that. And you talk about the logjam. It's something we talked about a lot in the offseason. Like, you got a million shooting guards, but you don't have great wings, and you have a big problem at center. Now, luckily, Derek Lively has played much better than expected. I still think you could use another big there, but I think you're at least okay for now. But you got 5 shooting guards. You have obviously Kyrie, who starts at the 2, Tim Hardaway Jr., who's still here, which maybe that has thrown a wrench into things because people thought he would be gone. Dante Exum, who kind of plays 1, 2, 3, whatever, and with his defense, he's had at least a little bit of a role. Seth Curry, you brought back, and Jaden Hardy, and Hardy has been 5th in the pecking order because all 4 of those other guys obviously have been playing.
Yeah, he's been the odd man out so far, and when you take a look at these guys, that's kind of to be expected. You have veterans in Dante Exum and Seth Curry who have been in the league for a while. Hardy's still earning his keep. It's only his 2nd year, and he's just 21 years old. I think the Mavericks do like Jaden Hardy and what he brings to the table, but like I said, it's kind of redundant when you have Tim Hardaway Jr. there, who they obviously tried to trade this offseason, but they couldn't get off his contract.
Do you have a strong opinion? Should he be in the rotation right now? I'm conflicted.
This is something I was going to bring up later in the show, but I think him not playing does hinder his development, and he needs to play somewhere. Do you send him down to the G League and get him a couple games? I'm not sure you can do that now because I think he's an established NBA player.
I think you're in a tough position because if Hardaway's on the roster, as annoying as he can be at times, he still probably helps you win more right now.
No, he has to play.
So you have to play him, and look, Exum gives you some defense, so in certain situations, you probably have to play him over Hardy. Curry's a 45% three-point guy, so it's I question a lot of what Jason Kidd does with his rotations, but
no, this is a hard spot for him.
I kind of understand this one because you're we like the kid, but he's young, he's an inconsistent shooter, he doesn't defend much. So let's hear from the head coach here. As he said, there's only so many that can play. I can't play all 15, but he will play at some point. We do have a lot of guards. You have 2 guards, Luka and Kyrie, that will play, let's say, 35 minutes. There's not a lot of time for everyone to participate. And yeah, we didn't even really mention that part of it, Coop, is that your 2 best players are guards, and you're not going to limit their minutes for Jaden Hardy. So it's tough.
It's crazy. We'll break some news right here. Kyrie Irving's not going to play tonight, so maybe the rotation will change a little bit and Hardy gets in there.
I bet we see Hardy get in there at some point.
Yeah, I think so as well because that's 35 minutes that does free up. But it's hard to find minutes for him right now just simply because of the amount of bodies they have at that position. And Jason Kidd also dished on Jaden Hardy and asked what he has to do to be ready to play. He just said he has to be ready. He's doing everything, but he was hurt before the opener. I don't know if that's something we knew or not. At some point, he will get a chance to play just like Seth and Dante, the two-ways, and the ball boys. So everyone's going to play. And
let's get the ball boys out there.
The ball boys as well. Maybe that is tonight that he ends up, getting his season debut, but it is difficult for Hardy right now.
Look, I'll be honest. I wouldn't be shocked if they started him tonight because I think they like bringing.
Throw him right in there?
I think they like bringing Tim off the bench. I don't think you're going to start Seth Curry. You could start Exum. I would show Hardy some goodwill. This is kind of a reminder, hey, we still like you. We still believe in you. It's just been a logjam. We'll start you tonight,
just go get
right?
it tonight. I actually like that shout.
You don't need to start Dante Exum. He's a veteran. It's not like he needs to feel validated by starting. You don't owe Tim anything. Keep bringing him off the bench. I like that role for him.
That's interesting. That's actually an interesting point.
I would start Hardy tonight. I think it sends a good message to him, and quite frankly, I think it gives you nice offensive punch with Kyrie, who's a 25-point scorer, not playing tonight.
Yeah,
so.
we've seen Hardy can score in volume. That game in Utah last year where he went off, I mean, he can do that really quick. So the Mavs wouldn't lose a whole lot of scoring punch.
The other option is if you want to keep going Derek Jones at the 3, you could start Josh Green as well, but we'll see. I would start Hardy.
I'm with you. I like that. I like that idea.
So we'll see what happens tonight. Now, what's your concern about the lack of playing time so far? Scale 1 to 10. I'll go like 4 or 5 right now. Like, again, this isn't on like the high point of my list of Jason Kidd annoyances that I have with him at times.
And there are some of those.
Because, look, if Hardy was playing a lot and Seth Curry was DNP, we'd be saying, oh, you brought him back. He's a lethal shooter. Why is he not playing? Like, we'd be saying it about somebody.
No doubt.
So, I think he'll get in there. Tonight's a good opportunity. I'll say, here's what I will say. If he doesn't play at all tonight, that will annoy me.
That will be a red flag.
Kyrie's 35 minutes are not out there. So why is Hardy not getting some run here?
We'll see what happens tonight in Memphis.
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of which, look, if Hardy keeps finding his way out of the rotation, could the Mavericks opt to trade him to upgrade on the wing or at big? We'll explore that coming up here on Dallas Mavericks Today. But first, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about our sponsor. That is Prize Picks. Making money with Prize Picks early on this NBA season. Been cashing in during the NFL as well. And you can too with the easiest daily fantasy sports game out there. It is Prize Picks. How does it work, you ask? Here's how. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go for more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money if you do a 6-player entry. I got a 3-player entry for Monday Night Football tonight if you guys want to cherry pick here. Jared Goff more than on the passing yards. Lions struggled last week. I think they bounced back in a big way tonight against the Raiders. I do think Devontae Adams has a big game for Vegas, so give me the more there. And then I'm going to go less on Jahmyr Gibbs rushing yards. I think the Lions are going to sling it a lot. I think they'll throw it to Gibbs quite a bit, but I don't think he cracks 70 rushing yards. 10 to win 50 there. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. It's Prize Picks, easy, exciting daily fantasy sports. Check the link in comments for that promo code, or check the comments and description for that promo code and link. Okay, let's talk about Jaden Hardy and a potential trade, Coop. And again, let's preface this with we're 2 games into the season. We like Hardy. The Mavs like the Hardy. But let's just fast forward 20 games. If it's more the same and he just can't find a spot in the rotation, do you consider trading him maybe over a Tim Hardaway Jr.? Because he might actually have more value due to his contract, Coop.
Yeah, when you take a look at some of the pros and cons of trading Jaden Hardy, I think number one is he does have the value as a young player in a very affordable contract. The Mavs did trade up to go get him, and so the Mavs obviously like him, and I think Jaden Hardy's skill set really has value in the NBA, which is as a volume scorer, and teams are looking for that. So I think he does have value, and it would alleviate a logjam at guard, and you could maybe in turn get a wing that you're looking for and coveting.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the cons are that, look, like, I don't know if he has all-star potential, but I do think he has, like, 6 Man of the Year finalist potential.
I think he could be, like, a solid 17-point-per-game scorer in this league. Like, Jordan Clarkson type is my combo.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Combo. I mean, even think of, like, a Monte Ellis when he was here. Maybe not quite that high volume, but, like, I think he's got that type of game where he's not really a point guard, but he can score with the ball in his hands. Mavs obviously have invested in him by trading up. Now, the tricky part, Coop, is what is the value? I think that's probably unclear, and there's probably some, like, inconsistencies from GM to GM across the league.
No doubt.
Like, I bet some GMs love him. Like, I'd trade a top 20 pick for him. Others would be like, I'm not trading for him. The also tricky part, too, Coop, is, like, yes, you could use him to upgrade, but if you don't have a salary matcher, you're probably going to have to go with the cheap trade target to bring in return, which is where some of these names come into play.
Yeah, these are kind of some of the comparables as far as a trade match would go. Jayshawn Tate from Houston, who I really like's a bigger wing. Torrey Craig, who can really get it done on the defensive end, a former Phoenix Sun who's now in Chicago. Chris Boucher as well from Toronto. I like him as more of a 4 type. Simone Fontecchio, second year in the league from Utah. He's kind of a solid scorer. And here's one that really intrigues me. Jalen Johnson didn't play much in his first 2 seasons in Atlanta, but his first 2 or 3 games of this year, he's gone off. He's averaging over 15 a game to start the season, and he's a guy that I really like so far. So maybe there's a deal to be had there if the Hawks want to sell high on Johnson.
Yeah, very interesting. And again, if you wanted to trade for someone with a contract, you would have to package a Hardaway, a Maxi Kleber, whoever the case may be, to get into that contract salary range. So keep those things in mind. You can't just trade Jaden Hardy for insert $12 million per year player.
Not going to happen.
Doesn't work that way.
But I think this is the kind of the theme that I was going for, is if you're going to trade him, I think it has to be for that 3-4 wing type that we've been talking about.
Need more depth there.
It has to be for a guy with size and a guy that can play defense and knock down the three-pointer, because that's what the Mavs are looking for there. You have Grant Williams. You have Omax, who we haven't seen yet either as well, but maybe that's the guy that they look for if they were to trade or move on from Jaden Hardy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe like a backup center type, but if Derek Lively's going to keep playing like this, you can probably piece together the rest of those minutes with Kleber and Powell.
Yeah,
at least
Lively's accelerating the process like this, then you can look elsewhere to upgrade your roster.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So should the Mavs trade Jaden Hardy, type T for trade, P for pass? I don't think we're in the camp of doing this right now, Coop. That's why I said fast forward 15, 20 games.
Let's see what happens around Christmas.
Yeah, let's see where he's at in the rotation. We know injuries pop up. Things happen in this league, so he's going to get his chance. Hopefully he plays tonight. I think that would I don't know if alarming's the right word, Coop, but if he doesn't play tonight,
that would be eyebrow raising.
That tells me something. That makes me think they don't like where he's at.
I would agree with that. Yep, that would be an eyebrow raiser. We'll see what happens tonight. Either Harrison or myself will have a short after the game, just breaking down what happened in the game tonight. So stay tuned for that as well.
T for trade, P for pass. See you tomorrow, MFFLs.